Back here with our female high school athlete of the week. It's presented by Distinct Inc. and it's Jordyn Washington of Andover Central volleyball. She had a really good week last week, helping them go 7-1, win the Newton Invitational. Jordyn, what went well for you guys last week, and for you in particular, what was going well?
Last week for our team, I would say that our tip coverage is really what won us those games. I know we've struggled with that a little bit this season. It was part of the reason we got that loss to Mays. But this weekend, I'd like to say that our defense was really on that we really worked hard to get around it. We had our ups and downs, but we definitely we found our way out of it, which we haven't always been able to do. But I'm super proud of my team for being able to come together in that moment, and just finally pulling it together and working together as one instead of our own individual people. For myself personally, we were trying a new rotation where I stay on the outside for one, and then we'll switch and I'll go in the middle. And I think I made a pretty good adjustment to that, seeing it's something we haven't done yet this season. Mm-hmm. So I give myself a little bit of props to that, because it's not a position I've played solid for a long time. So I was pretty excited about that. But my setter makes it really easy. She's really good. So props to her for that.
Yeah. And for you, it was a busy week, 8 games in 1 week. You guys go 7-1. What was it like having so many games in that week, and just how busy it felt?
It's tiring. I know we're all sore. We've all had our ups and downs on the days, but at the end of the day, you just get a bag of ice or heat before practice, and you live another day. You go on to fight another battle. We've got a long stretch coming up from last week going on to our next few weeks, and we can push through it. We do it every year, even though sometimes the body doesn't allow. I think we take care of ourselves really well off the court.
Yeah, and for you, you talked about moving to that middle of the zone, or was that something that you said you hadn't done it before? Was that something you feel like is kind of something you guys are going to do going forward for yourself?
Potentially, yes. We have done it in our games after that. It's just one rotation on the outside, pulled off, but I think that's something that's been working pretty well for us, just because a lot of teams haven't seen me on the pin like that. They're used to Georgia and Emmy, which they have great kills and great swings as well. It's just a little mix-up, a little throw-off where they may be ready to have Georgia on the outside, and she'll come in and we'll sneak up on them.
Yeah, and for you, you're a Central Oklahoma commit. You're going to be playing there next year. What went into that decision, and how excited are you to get going there?
I am so pumped to come in and play at Central Oklahoma. It was basically my dream school once I found out about them. I didn't know about them at first, but as soon as I heard about them, I looked into their programs, not only for volleyball, but also their academics and what they have to offer for me. And that was part of the really big decision for me, because after these 4 years of playing in college, I still have the rest of my life to live. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that I have good degrees and good education, and they definitely do offer that.
Yeah, the NCAA always talks about going pro in something other than sports. And for you, what do you feel like that field is for you?
I haven't decided 100% yet, but I was looking into business and marketing or forensic psychology.
Yeah. And for you guys are off to a pretty good start this season, number 4 in the media rankings. Where do you feel like you guys are improved from last season? What makes this team better than last year's team?
I think that this season, a lot of people expected us to be I can't say terrible, but they expected us to be a lot worse than we were last year, because we did graduate 5 seniors. We graduated a libero, a setter, we graduated some hitters, a DS. We graduated good people, but the fact that we've had girls come up from JV or who sat the bench last year or who even were still on varsity last year, we have new leaders stepping onto the court, and I feel like that's something that's super important, and that's also helped us to play so well together. Mm-hmm.
And for you, you kind of have to take a little bit of credit for that, being one of the senior leaders on this team. Where do you feel like you've developed as a leader, and what's kind of your leadership role on this young team?
I feel like being put in as a leader on this team, my coach will always say, you got to help lead the team. That's something that I haven't always been used to, because I've always had great leaders above me. At Allie Paulson and Maddie Mick before, I had Hayden Snodgrass last year. Those were really good leaders and really great examples that I had. So I think this year, having to be the leader, it's forced me to be more vocal on the court, which is something that I can't say I've always done.
Yeah. And for you guys in the off season, building off of the little experience you guys had coming back, how did you guys prepare for this season with so many new pieces in the off season this summer?
Well, we ran a whole bunch of different lineups. We went to University of Central Missouri camp.
Okay.
So we went to our UCM camp this summer. We had a lot of lineups. We kind of got beat around there, and I think that's what we needed. At the beginning of the season, we played Mill Valley, and they really pushed us around and kind of showed us where our limits are and what we have and what we need to work with. So I think playing good teams in the off season and coming in at the beginning of the season and having some good opening teams, like that really showed us where we can improve and like what our strong suits are as well.
And for you personally, where do you feel like you've grown so far as a player?
As a player, I think that I've grown a lot with my slides. Last year, since we were in a 6-2, I never ran slides. I didn't really run them in club at all. So this is my first year like actually being very consistent with them. And I don't even think I could run one last year, but I'm proud of myself for being able to actually put a ball down on the slide and running that route. So that's something I've worked really hard on over the summer and leading up into this school year.
Yeah. Where do you feel like, for you guys as a team, what do you guys feel like your expectations are for this season? You guys said not many people expected you guys to be where you are at right now, but you're kind of in the thick of the season. Where do you guys feel like your ceiling is for the season?
I mean, we don't have a ceiling at that point. Our motto is raise the floor. Like your base can always get higher. Like we have no ceiling. We can keep going for as much as we want to. But I mean, our goal is always to make it to state. We've gone the last 2 years. I mean, we still have sub-state. We definitely don't overlook that. We want to win sub-state, but our ultimate goal is to make it to state and put those numbers up on our wall.
For you, what does preparation look like going into a match? How do you prepare for a team or a tournament?
Personally, it's really a mental aspect for me. This year I'm serving for us, which I also haven't done in the past because we've had some great servers above me. But I got to talk myself through a lot of stuff. I know for one that if my attitude like reflects poorly on the court, other people are going to look at me and they're going to see that and they're going to feed into that. So I have to focus on having a positive attitude and talking myself out of situations so I can make sure to keep lifting my team up.
What's your relationship like with your teammates? What do you guys like to do for fun and keep that team chemistry at an all-time high?
We have our team dinners, but outside of team dinners, we also have classes together. And one of my best friends is on the team, so it's really easy to have a connection with her. I've been playing with my setter since 7th grade. She's been my setter. She set for me for club. She set for me all of middle school, basically all of high school. So that connection with her is something that I'll like forever love. It makes it so much easier to play on the court. And for the new girls coming up, that leadership role that I've kind of been put in really helps me connect with all the other girls because it forces me to reach out to the younger girls, talk to them, sit with them at team dinners. Like it's kind of, I feel like, what's the word? I think it's a privilege to get to have this role just because like it forces me to be more in touch with our younger girls and not only the girls that I've just been playing with for so long. But I think communication is our biggest thing and how we all gel together in that sense.
Yeah. And for your coaches, I mean, you talked about the decision and the changes that they've made a little bit since last season. We'll talk about your relationship with them and the trust that you have in them, that even when they make those kind of changes, you still have faith that those are going to be the right moves.
I trust my coach like to the max. She's been the only coach that I've had at this school for middle and high school. She was my head coach in 7th grade. She was my coach in 8th grade. And she's been my head coach all throughout high school. She moved to the high school when my grade moved up to the high school, which was just awesome for me because she's gotten to see my whole grade and all these girls grow and develop. So she knows what we're capable of because she's seen us develop throughout all of these years. And I would, even if it's something crazy, like I would trust anything that she says because she knows what she's doing. She knows our girls.
Yeah. And for you, what motivates you personally? What gets you, when you have a bad day at school or a bad day in the morning, what gets you out to practice and out to the court?
My teammates. I like to thank my teammates for a lot of what I can do because I mean without our JV, like I think we have a solid JV that helps me get going in practice and it forces me to better myself and also better them. But also some people say that it's fake or when someone says they think about their team, but I really do think about my team. Like if I'm having a bad day, I can't let them have a bad day too because one of them could have had a great day and I'm not going to come in and ruin it. Like they deserve to feel special and they deserve to have a great day as well. So I come in on the court, even if I don't want to do it for me, I come in and I do it for somebody else. Yeah,
that's awesome. And for you, just kind of what are some of your goals for this season? Maybe personally, I don't know about, you talked about your team goals, wanting to win sub-state and go to state, but do you have any record stone milestones out there that you want to set?
Every year I try to be better than I was the year before, and so far I've shown improvement over each year, like just statistically. So my sophomore year on varsity, I had under 200 kills, I believe. This past season I had well over 200, and this year I'm trying to keep going. So kill-wise, like I try to up my stats every single time. This year I'm trying to beat some serving stats because I haven't served at all yet for this school season, but I'm trying to put me in a good place for that. Aces, I can't put a number on like how many
Yeah.
aces I'd like to have this season, just because I'm not really sure like what's expected, what would be the norm. But I'm really excited to like keep racking those up. I think I have a decent amount right now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, congrats on the great start to the season, and congrats on being named our High School Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
Awesome.